tick on about? He's acting like a loony. I am a loony. Looney Tunes. Thanks, I just... Well done. That's not a bad fish actually, it's sort of holding around. Oh, it's not bad. It's about 8, maybe. Yeah. Oh, he's got plenty of energy as well. It's cold water.
I was surprised. I had a couple at the boat dock the other day.
Yeah.
Ones, but they were really kicking. I was
Yeah.
surprised they were cold as fish.
Yeah. They're nice on that light tackle as well.
Yeah, it's good fun, mate, to be fair. I see a guy last year land one. Oh, no, look at that, right in the scissors. Usually when
Of course, a lovely fish.
Usually when it's a little single hook like that, you do get them right in the scissors.
Oh, I see, for your perch fishing.
Sorry?
You're perch fishing.
Yeah.
Nice conditioned one. Oh yeah, lovely. So that was on a live bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it's definitely the way forward in this cold weather.
Only little ones. I know a guy who had a 34-pound pike last year.
Really?
On a 2-inch live bait.
Cool, look at that. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, it's a nice fish.
Cool, yeah.
Oh, he's alright.
Plenty of energy. Cool, that's nice to see. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of dead baiting this year and I've blanked loads. Yeah.
Strange, really.
Nice fish, mate. Oh, but it's quite slippery, so I'm trying to lose my bloody GoPro in there. Some decades you can have sort of it can get a reputation for holding a few big uns, but right now with all these otters that they've introduced, that's all these cormorants which seem to be around, that's all been shot to bits. All the big uns are gone from places like this. The only place you'll get a big un is on a biggest tidal river around this way now. But you know, there's if you just want to catch pike, this is as good as anywhere. There's fucking hundreds of them in here, but they're all small, and I know that because I know people. I know quite a few people who fish it, and I know the bailiff, and I know what's been coming out, and I know what's in there. So there you go. You might get one up to £10, but he'll probably be on his own. You know, I'm telling you, they're all jacks. They're all jacks in here. But you used to get quite a few big ones in here. Used to. But there's a few bream in here still. Here at the beginning of the season. Some nice tench along that wall there, along that back wall. Yeah, beautiful. fact the feeder. Got that. All the maggots. Yeah, dead perch. I don't know why he's died. Why he's died. He's not been dead that recently. Quite a nice one. Oh, why he's died. Can't see any otter marks in him. Oh, but he's dead. He's dead, honey. He's dead. Otters do maul them about a bit, so it might have been that. He's dead. Look at these. I think they're doves. Look at that. No one's crapped on me anyway. Look at these, look. They're flying over me. It's insane. Look at it, look. Look at them, look. They're doves. A flock of doves or whatever. Look. Why are they pigeons? I don't know. We're in the boat dike, and as you can see, we were fishing over there by that guy. He's a specialist perch angler, fishing live baits. He's not had anything, and I've got this rod, which is baits from the bow of that boat there. So let's just see, there's another angler who's fishing in there, fishing for pike in there. It's frozen. It's quite funny because the ground is rock solid, but there's one or two moles who have come up and the earth is all really soft. So you just think what it must have been like for him to the last inch or so where it would have been rock solid. He'd be like, oh, that's just strange. I'm clearly talking a bit gibberish, but it's yeah, I couldn't get a feeder out in that. Look at it, look, you couldn't get a pike float in there. Icicles. This is the deepest end as well, so it's going to be icier up there. But that is cold. I'm not sure that's even. I'm not sure. Right. If it would be worth fishing, really. Even when it sort of warms up a bit, I think that's had such a blast. I think the fish they must just like, almost like turn into ice blocks. Barely alive sort of thing, just sort of asleep almost, I'd imagine, somewhere in here. Everything slows right down. Feeding. Cold-blooded, isn't he? But yeah, it's what fall in there. It's There's plenty of water though to crawl out. It's not usually a lot shallower than that. But water's cold. There's plenty of water in there. It's always got a bit of murk on at this estate lake. That's a £90 season ticket here, which isn't too bad, but a £7 a day ticket. And there's carp. There's not many carp in here. There's a few big carp in here, and that attracts some sort of specialist carp anglers, but I personally wouldn't come here for carp. Here is bream. It's good for bream and coarse fish, this one, and there's even some nice tench in here as well. So I had a nice tench at the beginning of the season. I usually come here right at the beginning of the season. It's a good place to come, mainly just for the scenery. It's absolutely gorgeous in the summer, and it's lovely now, but when it's all got leaves on it and stuff on a nice day, this is absolutely beautiful. It's a frozen solid every goddamn where. So even this mud, look, it's frozen rock solid. It's winter time. There's no need to be afraid. Oh, sorry, it's Christmas time. There's no need to be afraid. We've had Christmas. Christmas was 3 or 4 weeks ago. Oh God, has that got ice on it? It can't have, it's a river. Alright, we'll just have a little look. Oh shit, it's getting a bit boggy here. We'll have to go round. You might not be able to get through even on had so much rain. And getting back as well, if this falls out and you never... This is not actually the place where I originally sort of intended to sort of go, but I just wanted to oh yes, it's all mud here. It's gonna oh, it's quite clear here. See if we see any chub or anything like that. What's this? Oh dear, we got a bloody padlock on it, have we? No, what's this? I have to wash my hands after this because it'll be bloody there is flow, there is flow. There's flow. Mucky as expected, but I've just not been on this bridge before. Just want to have a little look. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if this is controlled by an angling association. Well, plenty of flow. Can't see any fish, it's a bit murky, but can't really see anywhere to fish either. Got bloody barbed wire up everywhere. So who knows? Who knows? But anyway, we sort of had a little look on the... Be careful not to slide up here, because that'd be very sore. I better just shut this up, otherwise Farmer Giles will go, "You didn't shut that up, you didn't lock that bloody bridge up." And get all that shit. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's just no problems doing that sort of stuff. Anyway, there's that tree look. It's like Sleepy Hollow movie. 24 pound wire, approximately sort of size 1/0 trebles, barbless. Had a lot of rain past few days. It's all gone chocolatey again, but the mackerel's very scenty, so no problems there. We're now nearly February. A lot of the weed has all died and been swept away by previous floods, so it's not too weedy down there. Get a little bit on your trebles, but not too much. So we're in a big fished water. There's not loads of fish here, but you can, this place can really throw up a monster. Another chap just rocked up on me alongside there, and he's fishing as well. So we'll see how we get on. Try and get a big one. Bon appetit. Hello everyone. Right, so we're just been fishing this area here, and been here an hour. I banged one out in the middle, nothing at all. So I've decided to move it around here, and so I've moved it just in front of this boat here, or it's literally just underneath the boat. You can see by the angle of the line. I've just moved the rod up here. I'm fishing just with the bait just tight in here. I've noticed there's a bit of flow in this boat dike, sort of ebbing out of here. So just trying to sort of stimulate a run, and but we've had it bang out in the middle there, about where in line with my hand is, probably a good sort of, I don't know, 20 yards, 30 yards, something like that, and nothing. Just sort of something's telling me just to sort of, it's a lot deeper here. We're off the main flow, and Pike notoriously, they hang about boat dikes, entrances to boat dikes, and this is where we are, just here. And also with the water being a lot colder, a lot of the roach, they generally sort of hide under the boats, and it's the deeper water you want to look for when you're in the depths of winter here. And yeah, so we've been spending a bit of time in the main river, and just been getting some small ones and blanking a lot. So we're starting to come in the boat dikes now, just to sort of see if we can you know, induce a take. Right, I'll let you know if we get something. So here we are, people. Pike fishing during storm Christmas. Back on the river today. It's just a waiting game. So with a bit of luck, we'll get the big one. Woo! So we've not had anything. It's I've only got a rod license for two rods. So I've had to wind in my pipe rod, one of my pipe rods. I've got my carp feeder, fishing some maggots. Just here, using some ground bait as well on a swim feed. I'll show you how that works, but we're just fishing for perch, just for something a bit different. But I've just moved this dead bait over more in the middle, that side, and yeah, so we're just trying to sort of get a bite really, get something. But we've seen one fish caught today. Chap just had one when he was live baiting for perch. Something like £7, something like that, but that's on tape, so just shows that if you fish live bait for perch, you can sort of fluke out a pike as well. So if you want a big pike, that's going to generally be on a dead bait. That's the disadvantage of it. But that's the sacrifice you have to make. Right, I'll show you this perch rig in a minute. So it's absolutely hossing through. The current is absolutely hossing. We've had so much rain, you see. Been here 2 hours, nothing. You usually get them inside 2 hours if you're going to get them. Got half a herring and got a whole sardine, whole pilchard off that area around there on that tree. And these other rods in the middle. But there's so much current. The water's mucky, but don't put me off. I've had them when it's mucky before. There's a bit of shit coming down there now. The heron's gone. He's buggered off. So we're going to give it another hour, and that's probably going to be it. But I just wanted to give you a little update. Now I could move the dead bait into this area here where there's not so much current, sort of swirling around. But I've ordered this rod one. Little mallard there, look. Whack whack. Beautiful spot this. Beautiful spot. But I don't think I'll come here tomorrow. So the rig is £8 just for flicking it out there. Sometimes you might want a leader here, mono leader, or just if you're whacking it out, but just for flicking it out for perch. So I'm using an £8 braid. It's a Drennan 25 gram feeder bead. It's on a sort of a stendy clip, a small swivel. I've got fluorocarbon here. It's about £8, and that's on to about a size. That's about 12, 14, something like that. And I've got about, I don't know, a clump of maggots on it. And hi. I haven't had anything now. No, not today.
Feeder, right?
Sorry?
Got a feeder.
Yeah, pike as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing much. So we just had a move. And oh, that's a pike. That's a pike. You might have even seen that. I don't think a very big pike doing that, but it's we've moved the dead bait. We were fishing over that side. This chap who was fishing here earlier on, he had a pike off that blue buoy over there where it was live baiting for perch. So he said just off that, not very far. So anyway, so I've just put my dead bait just right off this pontoon on the other side there, and we're just underneath this boat. We've just got a couple of red maggots with some of that bream mix, just to help to get the other maggots out in there. Got some maggots in there, and I'm just going to try and get a perch or a nice roach or something. And we've just got the pike rod out there, and I've got the other pike rod sitting there, rigged up, and I've got a half a mackerel which I might chuck out like that side. Once I've used up this ground bait, once we've sort of had a bit of a go with this, we'll then sort of go with the heavy rod and just chuck out half a mackerel, probably where that splash was, I'd say. We'll try that. Mud bath. Chap over there pike fishing in his boat. We're still fishless. Only that other chap who caught one today on a live bait. I keep trying different places, but don't seem to be enjoying the dead baits too much at the minute. It does separate the better fish. But alright, we've got one quite a way out. You can see the angle of the line, but it's about 40 yards out. And the other one is probably halfway along this pontoon, about 2 or 3 metres away from that pontoon edge. So it's very quiet, very quiet. We had one splash about half an hour ago out in front. Seems to be a lot of little roach in this boat dike here. Seems to be innate. But for me, the slightly smaller pike, I think they're patrolling around in it. They're coming out here and going in. This is off the main flow of the river. It's quite deep out there. I was told it's about 9 foot. So it's just a question of when the biggies feed. It would appear when the water's cold like this, you've just got January out of the way. I think it's the 1st of February today, or the 2nd of Feb. It's the pike, the bigger pike probably don't feed so frequently. Metabolism slows down and they only feed like once a week. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you could have your dead bait right alongside him and he's, you know, he's not really in tune to, you know, to grab it, so to speak. But there you are, just hope that he gets hungry. Morning guys. We are up early this morning. We're fishing a spot close to a railway bridge. We're here early because the tide's right. So it's sort of a good time. I'll go into that a bit later on, but this is just wanted to show you a bit of the area. See how it's been raining, it's all flooded around the back here, a lot of rain. You have to excuse me because I'm half asleep. I've just been rushing around driving to get here and I've just rigged up, so you can imagine, just baited up. I've got this heron, bloody stalking my every move, which is really annoying. I want to chuck out a little bit of ground bait, but he's just fucking ruining it. So I've got to bloody, I don't know, chase him off in a minute, but this mud is preventing that. But it's quite murky. We've had a bit of rain overnight. It doesn't worry me too much about the old murky water, because pike, they come on the scent anyway. Three voices over the back there, 2 people waking up. It's quite wide here, the river, quite deep. So anyway, to cut a long story short, just about the rods, I've got one off this tree. We're fishing a whole pilchard on that, I think, sardine pilchard. And we've got or virtually a whole herring on this other rod, which is out in the middle, about possibly out in the middle somewhere. You see with this current, that's just drifting down. So let's just hope we get one, eh? I beg the question, what's the point? What's the point in him fighting? Just jibbing on about that Conor McGregor fight against Dustin Poirier, whatever his name is. I just sort of, you know, just think, what was the point in him fighting? He just didn't seem hungry enough, Conor McGregor. He only got a dead leg and then that's when he got clipped. I mean, I'm like, well, you know, you've got to fucking be better than that. Don't let your leg get fucking dead. Take your time or pull your leg out of the way or something. He's just not, all that money he's got, he's just not hungry enough. Like, what's the point? Oh god, getting bloody barked at now. So, winter mist. Now this is proper winter mist. This is, I think it was -2 overnight. Look at this, look at this frost coming in. Look at this, look at this ice. I'm trying to drop the GoPro. Oh, look at this ice, look. Oh! icicles. Now there's a lot of, oh that is cold, that is really cold water. You always get mouthy people, does your fucking head in. That's a Sunday, you're going to get dickheads, even when it's cold you get dickheads. You'd think the cold would sort of keep them quiet a bit, but you won't, not this lot you won't. Anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to think if it's worth going over. There's a lot of pike in here, but they're all very small. No, this is just, it's actually, come this side, and there's actually, you can actually fish. You can actually fish. This side. It's a little way, anyway. Ice at that end. Hello, what we got there? This guy, I think this guy was fishing, that guy there, he was fishing alongside me a few weeks back. He's actually alright, I don't think he's done any good. But, so, we've just wound in the rod which is in the middle. And as you can see, there's that heron. Look at that bloody heron, look. It's huge. Now, there's a lot of flow. So I just wound in, because we hadn't had anything for a couple of hours, just wound in the herring. And there's a lot of shit and leaves and crap all wrapped round it. I still think a pike would be able to find it like that, but it's not ideal. But it's a reflection of it's being in an area with quite a lot of current. If anything, probably would have been a bit better for that bait to be right on the other side. However, you know, you can get them in theory anyway. So anyway, to cut long story short, what we've done, because the flow's quite strong, we've just moved it in to this area here. I'll just sort of show you. It's an area of sort of still water, so to speak. So it's just out of the flow. So for me, a pike, if he didn't want to get too tired in the flow, he could potentially sit himself in this area here. And also with the dead baits, it's wafting down into this channel as well. There's a few match anglers like to fish up that end, so there's obviously some few roach there as well. Very mucky water. The other bait is, just check that, nowhere near as bad for weed, if any at all, and we've just put it off that tree. So yes, and that's basically it really. Other guys up there, I've not, they're pike fishing, I'm not seeing them get any either. Look at this herring, look at him. Jesus, what chance you got? One little fish got a chance with that, but there you go. Right, let's carry on. This is the base there. Got you know, I've got it lowered right down low because obviously there was a bit of wind that can affect the stability of the brolly, but that's a nice brolly that is by Preston's. So that should keep the rain off us, so I'm expecting a lot of rain. And everything else is working, it's fishing. We've got one about 1.5 meters off that bank, about in line with my hand is, that sort of way. And then I've got another rod just bang in the middle, and that's where I've had some. And the river's not too bad. What's down here? Plenty of rain today. Storm Christoph, nice and dull and overcast. I like to go for a bit of a stroll, but I don't go too far from my rods in case something happens. I've got one bite alarm, but the other one I'm actually stray lining because of get a lot of boats here, and I don't like to move my dead baits. When a boat goes past, I just lower the rod tip and wind, so it just brings the line tight to the riverbed, and the boat goes over the top. You see, I like to fish afloat, but I find if you leave your ratchet on, that you can just by keeping an eye on the rod, you know if you're getting a take or not. It's pretty much straight away, so you ain't got to worry about deep hooking a fish or anything like that using that technique. You just got to be aware of what your rods are doing. There you go, bit of wind. Come on. Try tricky. So, we just rocked up. That's things over there. Right. It's a bit windy. Just rocked up. We've got a chap over there on a boat. He's just turned up. We've just literally just cast out. A little bit of float, a bit of sun. Now, there's a guy down the other end there, and he's had 2 today. Don't know what time. But he said he's a £6 and he lost 1. That's pretty promising. -2 overnight. So it's a bit cold. And I've got a small bream on this rod here, and that's about 2 metres off that bank, pretty straight in line with this camera here, right in front there. Probably about 1 metre, maybe 1.5 meters. And then this one we've got off those trees there, roughly in line straight in front where the camera's pointing, just there, tight to the bank, probably about 2 metres off the bank. So they're quite a way apart. They're on that side because that's where he said he had his. So I've had them from in the middle of the river here. I just fancy just trying something a bit different today. No boats are allowed on here because of COVID. Only small angling craft up to 14 feet or something like that. So that's what he's doing over there. So yeah, so there you go. And I'll have to turn off because I don't think I've got that much battery left. Let's just see if we can get one. Get a big one. So we're just sort of weighing it all up, and it's just sort of thinking about it. It's been 2.5 hours or whatever. This wind's sort of gusting a little bit. Christ almighty. Don't know what, it doesn't look like it's going to rain, so I might take it down. But that's what I was just saying to myself. It's just, whether the fish are here or not. That's the thing. Are they there? Right. So, the sun's going down. Baits have been out there a while. Been out there quite a while. I've been out there like 3 hours. It's bitterly cold. Yeah, we've got about another hour to go until home time, and you know, you might get something while there's still a bit of light, but you know, you just got to keep going with it really. You might get a surprise, but usually the first 2 hours of a dead bait being in the water on a river, on a tidal river, if you don't, at the time you turn up, especially if you turn up at what you think is the right time, the peak times, then you should no longer than 2 hours. And if you're in a boat, just move. 2 hours dead baits maximum, and then just move. That's from my experiences of having dead baits in the water. But yeah, I'm just hoping. It's beautiful though. It's beautiful out here. Hey guys, so we're just giving it another go this afternoon. We're just sort of, we've had not had much luck further up the river, so we've just come into a bit of a boat dike here, and I've got a whole sardine just approximately in the middle, just sitting there, and I've got one in the middle of this river here. I've got a whole bream just sitting there on the bottom in the middle, roughly in the middle. Herons sort of stalking me, and yeah, we'll just give it a go and see what happens. Not too many boats at the minute because of COVID. There's 1 or 2 splashes underneath the bridge there. It's either drips or a few fish just coming to the surface. So we're just looking for the ratchet just to go. I'm sitting right by the rods, so we're just waiting for the old. That's me kicking it. Just waiting for the old ratchets to go. Or just watching the rod tips and the line. Not fishing afloat because of boats and things. And so I can just get the line, I can put the rod tip down on the river bed and get the line down nice and low so it doesn't get caught in the prop. But there's a little bit of flow there, which is good. So let's just see if we can get something. Bit of a game, this river fishing. Bit of a gain. So I've just moved this far right rod from being roughly sort of just off that tree there. I've just moved it just down here because you notice the river's flowing this way and it's just crashing into this bit of bank here. It's just got a nice bit of undertow right the way through underneath that bridge and into that boat dike just there. So I've actually put the dead bait right down here, literally about a metre off this bank, just right where the rod tip is near. And I'm just going to give it 20 minutes or so just to see if there's anything. There's a whole pilchard on there, sardine, and just to see if there's a pike prepared to take it in that area. And if not, I'm going to try, after that I'm just going to try sort of a bit more out in the middle. There's a bit more sort of still water there, and obviously this rod here is out in the middle. I'm getting a few twitches on it actually. I thought it was a take, but I think it's just little line bites. I think there's some inquisitive little fish seeing it in this light and they're just banging into it. That keeps just banging every now and again. Definitely fish. I thought we were about to get a take, but it's been doing it for about 10 minutes and it's, I think with the sun the way it is, I think they can just see that line and they're just inquisitively just like pecking at it and banging into it. But this is a bream. We've got a whole skimmer bream on here. It's quite a large bait and that's just roughly in the middle of the river, I would say. So we've tried that side, we're trying just down here, and then we're going to try just sort of a rod length out. Bon appetit. Here we are, people. We are at Booton Pit, and due to the recent coronavirus lockdown 3 pandemic, they've shut it down. So if you're a season ticket holder, you're in the doodly-doo. It's frozen over. See, the rivers, we've had so much rain recently, the rivers are all got so much flow and muck and debris just coming down and you just can't fish them. So the only place you could really probably fish are bloody still waters, but they're all iced over. This part of the lake's iced over. That far side don't look too bad. It has been warm and it's suddenly gone cold again. But it looks like they've had a good clear out. They've scraped a lot of the shit away and vegetation and stuff. But the only places I think you might get a bit of action for pike are in the boat dikes. But access to the boat dikes, a lot of them are all private, you see. So there's only boat access, so unless you've got something like that, like a little punt like that. They do these, Savage Gear do an inflatable kayak. They're fucking expensive for what they are, but they do give you access, you know, they can spice up your trip a little bit and give you access to little areas you couldn't quite get to, especially on the tidal rivers. But here we are. Yeah, there's I mean, obviously, as it says on there, I mean, there's carp in here. Oh, there it is. Carp, pike, tench, bream, perch and roach. You do get a lot of carp anglers here. They do take over a bit in the summertime. They can be a little bit obnoxious. If you come in here course angling and stuff, they can get a little bit funny. You pay for a day ticket and you're in a swim. Sometimes they'll be a little bit huffy and puffy that you're in their spot, and sometimes they'll even park their gear close by your swim and sort of stand there playing with the phone, tapping their feet, which I think is bang out of order because they're not bookable swims. So that's the trouble you see with a carp fish on a small little pit. There's not that many of them in here, but you still get a lot of carp anglers here. So yeah, it's that's not nice. So if there's any of you carp anglers out there who are all for that and promote that, you've got another thing coming. So just give all the anglers a bit of respect. The course anglers, everyone's equal. Everyone pays a ticket, everyone's equal, treat people with respect. And there you are. But that's fishing sometimes, you know. But it's a nice little pit, this one. Not sure if they do an evening ticket here, but I've had some nice roach out of here. There's obviously, you can see this otter fence here. This ground is frozen solid. Good otter, tornado otter fence, or whatever it is here. Do have a lot of problem with otters now in the UK. Heaven forbid why they allowed it, but I only hope to God with us coming out of Europe there'll be sort of a group who will sort of, you know, try and sort of get it back to how it was, because they're buggering up the waterways. And it's not just fish, that's birds as well. They kill every bloody thing. And I mean, even small little fisheries like this have had to sort of protect their business by sticking up this fence, you know. So it's it is a shame, but it makes it a lot harder. I mean, we've got some nice rivers around here, and they used to have loads of barbel in them, and chub, and big roach, and you could get all sorts in there. And these were local rivers, little streams and stuff. There's nothing in there at all, not even little fish. The otters have completely destroyed the fisheries, and it's illegal to remove them. Yeah, so, but I'm hoping that's going to change soon. I'm hoping there's going to be licenses to remove them soon, and that, as well as cormorants. Cormorants are doing a lot of damage as well. The sooner we just wipe the hell of all of them out, the better, and we can have our fisheries back, you know. And because I mean, in the 90s, you know, the 90s and the early noughties, the fishing was, the freshwater fishing scene was just, you know, for specimen fish. It didn't matter where you went, you know, there was, you know, it was just quite, you know, unbelievable really. It was amazing what we used to take for granted. But it may take years, but I think as long as we keep campaigning to get it back to how it was, I think that eventually the government will see light in it really. At the end of the day, an otter is just a bloody giant rat, and I cannot see what the attraction is to it, and why people are so fond of it. If they're going to have them, they need to carefully manage the populations of them. At the minute, they've let them loose, and they've just all just shrugged their shoulders, and no one's really managing the population or anything. So, you know, which I think is bang out of order. So I think if people are prepared to release them, and then to manage it like that, then I think it should be taken away from them, to be quite honest. And you know, there's a lot of people in the UK do freshwater fishing. There's hundreds of thousands of people do freshwater fishing, and they've upset them. They really have, and I think that's the most stupidest thing you can do. If you're going to introduce something like that, at least carefully manage it, and then the two can work together. But they've not been working together. They're just, you know. So I'm afraid their days are numbered, in my opinion. And the sooner we get them otters removed, the better. But some of you may like this video and what I'm saying, and some of you may not. But I'm being brutally honest. I'm speaking from the vast majority of people who do freshwater fishing in the UK. So yeah. So there you go. What a beautiful winter's morning this is, and I'm to talk about otters. Marvellous.